Welcome to the historic Contoocook Railway Museum right here in the heart of Hopkinton. I'm joined by Steve Lux. He is the vice president here, and he's going to tell us about the ongoing efforts to preserve this gorgeous passenger car right here with us. Tell us, Steve, what we're going to do to make sure this is here for future generations.
Thank you, Elizabeth. One of the things that we try to focus on here is, of course, battling the elements of the weather. A couple of years ago, we had a fundraising effort to purchase a custom-built tarp, essentially, for the coach, which we've placed on the coach every year over the winter months, and has helped slow down the deterioration process of the coach. But one of the things that we can't seem to get ahead of is the rain and other ongoing problems. At this point, the coach has seen quite a bit of deterioration underneath the roof structure, on the side walls, and in order to properly address those issues, we really need to have the coach covered permanently. So one of the things that we're exploring is building a pavilion of sorts over the coach. And what we're hoping to do is engineer a pavilion that fits very well into the village here. It would match some of the farming type structures in this community, be very similar to the depot and other structures. And what that would allow us to do is essentially just put a roof over the coach. At this point, there'll be quite a battle ahead in order to get something like that accomplished. We do have zoning requirements and other things that we need to address. This particular structure, because of its location on the property.
So it sounds like there's a lot that needs to go into saving this. So you're looking for people in the community to not only help perhaps with, fundraising and funds, but perhaps to get involved in that process of zoning, permitting, grant writing, things like that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we'll need to address is a variance through the local zoning ordinance. And so we need the public support in order to get something like that passed. And that's because of how close the coach is to the property lines. The cost of the structure itself is likely estimated around $20,000 to $25,000. We're hoping that we can use local contractors and volunteer support to make that happen so that the cost wouldn't be as high. But essentially that is what we're looking at here.
And it really is important to do that. I know the tarp has been really a great help, but the issue is with the torrential rains of this past year, it really took more of a toll out than you guys expected. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that with any of their properties.
No.
Now, the coach itself is worth saving because despite the fact that it has some areas that need repair, overall, it's in decent shape, right?
Yes, the interior is actually quite sound. We have had many events inside the coach between our annual dinners and Polar Express readings for the children, as well as private birthday functions for kids. It's actually quite a focal point for a lot of individuals. And unless we can address some of the deterioration and other issues, we just can't open it up to the public. It's really not in the best of care at the moment, so we need to address those.
So things we can do to get involved, how can we help give?
There's many ways. General funding can be done through normal donations right through our website. We do sell a number of items throughout the year in the depot, mugs and hats and so forth. We recently have done some other widespread campaigns. We've seen some generous donations for similar projects. And so we'll be launching a pretty robust campaign, hopefully sometime in the next 6 months when we get everything finalized.
And before you jump ahead to that, I'm going to tease this out. I know the inside scoop, but for the holidays, I hear there's going to be a couple special things for families that might help bring some life to the coach. Is that true?
Yes, there is. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Steve, for hosting us for the last couple weeks here at the Contoocook Railway Museum. And we know our public and our audience love to support organizations like this. And I'm sure we'll find a way to preserve this car for future generations to enjoy the true history of the railway in New Hampshire. When we return, Wally Borgen from Skit will tell us about a world premiere theater production. But first, please listen to these words from our gracious sponsors that make this show possible.